Hello. If you're in, please share, like, comment so I know you're in. And thank you so much for joining me. I know it's been a while. I didn't forget about you guys. I just life occurred and things happened, and I had to sit back and deal with some personal stuff. So yeah, and I didn't forget about the fight because hello again. Thank you everyone. Thank you for joining me all around the world, wherever you are. I just want to let you know I got you at heart, and thanks to everybody who actually contacted me when I was out, when they didn't see my presence on Facebook that much. I had a lot of contacts. There were people who were really worried about how I was faring. Again, I went through a rough patch of life, but as you say, life continues. With the fight, there was still life going on. So at a point, the life started becoming a little shaky, but I think I tried to stabilize the boat, but I'm back and I'm ready to go back to fight. And thank you guys so much for holding up this ship when I was out, because I saw a lot of you doing a lot of good work on Facebook. Thank you for holding up while I was out. Now the whole thing, that way we get each other. When one soldier they down, another soldier they up the watch. So thank you guys again for the good work, and thanks for keeping the fight. It's going to take we don't know how long this is going to run. It's going to take a whole lot of patience. It's going to take people sitting up and standing out for people, like standing in for people who fall out, like you. When I love you didn't stop. So it's going to take all that for us to actually get to victory. And again, we've actually covered a lot of grounds. You can't even believe what you've done in person to change the dynamics of a country that has been, that has been ruled by mad people for almost how many years now, with no rules, no regulations, with the constitution being like a piece of toilet paper where any man fit twist and throw away, pick and do anything they want do. They change constitution like diaper, small picky diaper. So this is the first time we've actually stood up and heard this particular government responsible, and you should be proud of yourself. I'm so proud of myself being part of this history, and you on your end, you should be very proud of yourself being part of this history. All right, so I will go ahead to wish people in America happy independence. Even though I don't celebrate it, I'm going to go ahead and give my reason why I don't celebrate the independence of America. But I wish it to people who actually celebrate it, because yeah, they actually gained their freedom, from what I know. But this is the reason why I don't celebrate. Please don't start castigating me without getting my reason. America declared their independence in 1765, or I forgot that day. The date just slipped my mind. But this is the problem. Then there was slavery in America. People of my color, they couldn't do anything. So whatever that day was declared for, it didn't concern me. Whatever that day, because that same day in America, there was a lady with my skin shade down in the South picking cotton. There was a lady with my skin shade down in the South doing some plantation work. There was some lady somewhere with my skin shade, not being able to move freely, not being able to enjoy the God-given freedom as they preach. So for me, that day, the independence of America doesn't really signify anything. For me, what I celebrate, when I actually celebrate in America, is when Martin Luther King actually stood up for people like you and I to have opportunities. The civil rights movement, that's what I celebrate. I'm sorry, I'm not castigating those who celebrate the independence of America. I'm not sitting here to say you're doing something wrong. But for me, it's just a day. It's exactly how Cameroon is. Cameroon people, especially Southern Cameroon, would only celebrate a day where it actually forced we into slavery. That's the exact thing. Our history just married with American history. Come to think of it. We've been forced to celebrate a 20th May that had nothing to do with us. That was actually when we actually got into slavery. That's when we got enslaved. That's when we were actually given our own share of the plantations to be working at. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Because since then, we don't be na people they live or under the crumbs. Like we don't be na people they live with crumbs from the king's table. That is the exact thing that has happened to us. When I thought of today, when I thought of the independence of America, the next thing that came to me was was Cameroon. Cameroon, if you look at our history is almost built like that of America. Because we were given a date that it didn't signify anything to us. And since that day, we are almost like CDC plantation. Naya uncle and your auntie then they. There are people like you and I in CDC plantation. How many of the other people work in CDC plantation? How many work in that banana plantation? How many work from Banga farm? Now people that like you and I, people who sound like you and I. So if you look at the whole history of America and what transpired in Cameroon, you actually see it almost makes sense. So for the first time, like the civil movement, like Tanwe demand, Tanwe Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and other people and the Rosa Parks, they stood up and they said enough is enough. Enough is enough. We can't live in a country where we are second-class citizens. We are slaves. We can't sit in good restaurants and enjoy a meal. We can't sit in buses because somebody has to sit in that bus. That's the same thing going on in Cameroon. You can't sit in an office because there's somebody who was crafted for that office. You can't get your dream job when you're out of school because there's somebody who is almost like was kept for that dream job. If you see these two things, I keep making these two things. I try to put these two things together to show you like how much in slavery we would on the inside we would not even know. And the worst thing I say, we just accept it. They've made it so normal. Don't make the system so normal where we need to see reason why we give a question the status quo. It don't be so normal where some people they just say they were born to work in plantation. We get plenty family them. We don't actually migrate, say for Southwest just to work a plantation because they feel that's the normal. No, that's not the normal. We get picking they don't come out of school feel like the normal. Plenty picking the Cameroon be brainwashed when they come out of school, they find work they no see, and the next thing where they give a do have a drive Okada. Then if voluntarily go buy Okada, can start driving just to make sure, because the system, what we know is just what the system has told us. The system tells us in action, in words, all the thing the world is doing. Or if you look right, even the way we behave when we travel abroad. My side the example of America. I'm sorry if I'm going to be the little touchy today. But my side the case of America. When people come to America, when Cameroonians come to America, one thing what they look at now job security. Job security. If you talk to any Cameroonian in America, they want to become a nurse. And they want to become a nurse just because there is security in the job market. They are sure they are going to secure a job. No two reasons they know they why we get so many Cameroonians there. Okay, my tie now to Cameroon. When you come out high school for Cameroon, your mind be already tutored, say you become a teacher. You did write all concours them. You did write concours, police concours, this one concours, just so that security. Because now that's how they teach you, even from school, you look at the way the teachers in a way, They almost tilt your brain for not expand above some limit. Like they make your brain so limited where you never think out of that box. That's the way we've been enslaved. Now the way that we don't be enslaved. If you take Cameroon right now, so they build oil industry then for Douala, Yaoundé and the other towns. As you did Bamenda, the first way decline ahead. Now for who go buy ticket, go Yaoundé, go Douala, go Southwest. Southwest, the only reason we were Southwest brothers and they even Southwest region, they even benefit now, say they get a fertile soil. They get place where at least it force the government to invest in, because if we be the government don't carry that soil we go to Douala, go to Yaoundé or some place, go place and just say me all we migrate to those areas or anything. Since we they never export those fertile places to Southwest, which way they do not say they import their own people there into the place for take over the grounds. That's exactly the system we live in. And I get this argument where I don't hear the whole week for Facebook about. I'm trying to, again, I said I'm going to be touchy. If I touch a subject that you actually thought about, I'm going to be really touchy today. There's a subject that has been going on Facebook, and that subject in particular is about Southwesterners being closer to their culture, being closer to Douala, and Northwesterners, their culture being closer to Bamileke people's culture. Ma tell una this. These are two groups of people. Una not forget say these two groups, the South and the North region of that particular country, they stayed together. They stayed together for 40 years. So you want to say 40 years where they stayed together, they spoke the same language. I'm talking now from 1919 when the English Cameroons was taken from Germany and handed to England. These two group of people stayed in there for how many years? And the only year now people there they talk about South people there part of Southwest where they behave like Douala people, and part of Northwest where they behave like Bamileke people. How about that part of Southwest where they behave like Nigerians? Have we thought about that? There are people in Cameroon whose culture is exactly, there are people in Southern Cameroon whose culture is exactly. I hear anything from Tikumba Azonga, I'm like, this is the dumbest piece of information I've ever listened to. Like, it was so dumb and so inconsequential. I don't know where that part become all that information. I'm sorry I'm taking people back, but come to think of it, Southwesterners are culture, the Northwest and the Southwest culture. Look at the Nigerian culture. Look at a Nigerian person. That is us. We are Nigerians in every way. That's why we are super productive. You come from Northwest and Southwest, you only see people trying to create businesses, people trying to get jobs, people they ask them why would they migrate a lot, they go for a little around the other provinces to look for jobs. Now, because of that productivity, we can't stay still. It's like you tell Igbo man, say me Igbo man stay still. So you want to compare two cultures? You want to say we look more like another group of people? I'm trying to make sense. I'm trying to debunk this and make sense out of it. So if some person tomorrow tell you again, say we behave more like Douala people, we behave like Bamileke people. No, Bamileke people actually came into our land to steal our culture. Because back in the days of the Maquisards, Bamileke people were the people who actually migrated into our land. When they migrated in, what happened? They took part of our culture with them. When they went back, things changed on their end. It never occurred that Bamenda people left and went to Bamileke land to go do this thing, steal culture. It was the other way around. Bamileke people, the Maquisards, were running into our own land, and they were the people who stole our culture, to actually merge with whatever they had and made whatever they have today. Ta-da! How about that? Talk of Douala people. Douala people, what was the reason? How did Douala people manage to have part of our culture? I'm going to go to that one next. How many Francophones then they for our zone? How many they? They move into our zones every year to occupy companies to do. Our land is fertile. The south region of Cameroon is fertile. It brings in oil, it drains this potential from Cameroon. So when people come into that area, what do? They land, they steal, and they take along. And it happens, so some people, they ever think, I'm just like, do they even, do people, when people say things, do they even think at, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm feeling emotional. This emotion that I don't ramp up for a very long time right now. I think, I really need to speak. Please go ahead and share. Invite somebody to come in. Might teach some sense to people. Douala people then, how did they manage to look and sound like us? I already talked about Bamileke. The Maquisards who ran in, they stole our culture, went into the Bamileke lands, met the Bamileke people, look, sound like us. We never, tell me any history book. Even Fumban, the people from Fumban, they ran down to our zones. We didn't move out. I don't remember any group from the Northwest province. If you've read about migration in Cameroon, those who did history, the crappy history where they give we. And when we remember about migration, there was no group that actually migrated out of the Northwest province. People, when they moved into the Northwest province, even those Bafu people were from the north of Cameroon. When they moved into the Northwest province and found that rich culture of the Northwest people, they got married to it and they never left. That's the same thing that happened with the Bamileke people. The Bamileke people, when they came in and they found this rich culture, when the Doualas and the Bamileke people finally moved into Kumba, we don't invade Kumba and Biya and the other areas. When they moved into those areas and they found this rich culture, they didn't want to go back. So they stayed there and became nuisance and pest. What they deal with and today, then a very high place person. I'm so sorry to hear something coming from Tikumba Zongas that, and I was so appreciative when he actually acknowledged he was stupid, because it been like the most stupidity we have ever hear. It began to take a 32 years old me for educate a 60-something years old man about history for your own land where you don't know him. Oh Jesus, Cameroon, we need, there's something missing. There's part of a puzzle missing. And the partner say, I don't tell people, they say, we've gotten to a reawakening. We would not dare for place who don't get to that enlightened stage for our history. This enlightenment, I swear, I beg you, don't let it go away from you. When we got to this same place in the 90s, in 95, people met, it took the same lies as Tikumba Azonga is saying now for us to forget that enlightenment and walk back into those dark ages where we were told what to do, what to wear, where to be, what job to do. We can't go back. We have come too far. Now I'm focusing this to the people who are back home in Cameroon. One of the things I've heard from a lot of people, especially those home, they are suffering. They keep complaining of how hard this period of boycott and all the other stuff has been for them. I want to tell you this. I want to beg with you. You can imagine how long it took us to get here. You can imagine the sacrifices you've made for us to be here. You can we don't sit abroad. Even if we should go abroad, we become this key mouse, the mouse keyboard crazy people. It's the love of that nation. It's because we feel that pain back home so much. We transmit the pain wrongly. The pain sometimes they come as well as on day I'm just like, oh Jesus. If tongues could speak to our brains, your tongue would don't be like, leave me alone, brain calm down, can't type. Those are the type of emotions that are attached to this. This is the moment all of us, every single person where she done for this live stream now, so we don't dream of having. We have dreamt one day we'll be able to stand up, to choose the people who are going to govern us. Choose where we wanted our resources to be directed to. Stop people from stealing our tax money. Everybody sitting on this live stream has had that dream once in their life. And this is an opportunity for us to make that dream come true. For once, we are actually winning it. So for you back home who is complaining about kids going to school, about your businesses, I just thought about this solution. One of the things, we talked this one last time, I don't know whether plenty people they cash up. We don't take cocoa, coffee, and tea the way we know the chop them. We know the chop any of that in them. Mbanga would produce oil excessively. We will not even consume that amount of oil. There is so much. I think moving forward, we should start thinking about the way we control our economy. We take back our economy from all these thieves. Now, for actually get rid of the thing the way they actually exploit we. Why would the work cocoa where prices and be set for francs? Why would the plant coffee every year where the price of coffee be set for francs, not in Cameroon? We get to start thinking about how we maximize our fertile soils for actually make us sufficient. Because the only way why prices they go up now because we don't have enough. If we have enough, we will be able to control our own resources and we will choose whether and where to go export them. So coming to where to go export them, I beg you, if you did northwest, southwest, I know plenty of people that want the ask meeting where they feed do for their communities. If you did northwest, southwest, I grew up in a village, one of the villages of northwest. With the work farm, the first two of the think about now for go sell half of the chop so that we'll use the money for buy other things. This is one of the things we can do to actually revamp the economy from the state where it did it now. One, we need to start sell our food locally. I beg other Mami they carry big bag them from Gabon and the other place. If you see any person where can market candy, can buy things, then they go pour them inside BB bag, they'll carry and go export that or go southwest, deny, sell your things local. You know all the buyers in your area. That will be the Cameroon. I be know people there they buy chop for Bafut to go off for Bamenda go sell them. I be know people there they buy chop for Bafut for go out of Cameroon inside Gabon and all the other places and go sell the chop. So now, since we're there for an economy, we'll not even get enough for ourselves. Let's try to sell local. Because one, when you sell local, that money, it remains for your area. And the chop, they remain for your area, where if you don't get that same chop tomorrow, you'll go back, go buy the chop for your neighbor. 3 tomato, then come to think of it. 3 tomato, then now, so now almost 500 francs for Cameroon. 3 tomatoes now, 500 francs for Cameroon. Come to think, if we produce our tomato, we forget about Gabon and Equatorial Guinea and the other places. We produce our own tomato. We sell our tomato within. It's going to it will create work within our own economy. Those are the tiny things we should be thinking about. Because right now, so the economy be so stressed. And all the ghost towns the world they do, and so they affect our own families. So one of the things the world actually do for move this stress, this immediate stress to our family now, for actually encourage us to consume local. If you've been a person, if they are brought here, you want buy things for Cameroon, bind up rice. We'll give bind up rice. Me people then we start consuming what we make. We'll go buy back rice and from different area. The people they increase production. We know how if we get within. I want to get to this place. I'll take this conversation of a place. There's a conversation that has been going on Facebook and nobody paid attention to. Some few Francophone bloggers and they actually talk about them, but cash what at least to our community. Sikam Wuko the other day, all man knows Sikam rapper. Sikam Wuko the other day, go Douala. Go shot people, they are store them. Lock people, they are store them. Lock people, they are store them. The one day they want them. They go for Mache Mbappe or Mache Mbappe, Mache Nkululu and Mache something. They shut down stores. Say that people, they produce fake things them from Nigeria. So we get an economy, Jesus. I can't even talk about this. When I start talking about this, I just feel angry and I just want to go. I want to go off really. I'm trying to stress on the fact why we should consume local. I'm trying to get this conversation to a place where we should consume local. And even one consume something, we consume international. We not go consume within Cameroon economy. We are the people feeding Cameroon. All the food in Cameroon comes from our zones. If you know traders who buy and carry out of Bamenda, you know traders who buy and carry out of Kumba, out of this thing. It go take now only you. It go take now on a 5 inside market for make a difference. Not just say the whole market who got deny for sale for that trader. It go take now you for make a difference. It go take now you for what can go for that neighbor. That person where you know inside on a village where they can every day can buy. Because even Sikam don't deny. Sikam deny say me, then they produce all that cheap wrapper. They wanna know the other brand of wrapper, then the cheaper brands of wrapper where they produce or Cameroon bring them out of Cameroon where look as they produce them too for sell and just to make a difference. They go into these shops, then go any shop where we get any of that fake or any of that local made wrapper and that international that imported wrapper. They shut down all the store there. So Sikam doesn't even want competition. You don't buy one Sikam wrapper. It's almost 12, 13, 14,000. Where you go buy that small, that cheap set of wrapper for 4,000 francs. So who are they trying to fool? Chantal Biya is Sikam company. One monopolize Sikam. They want to take over Sikam. I beg even no man, all man become white woman. When I start wear jean trouser, when I start wear American clothes, when I go back Okrika for back market, if Sikam na the only thing we remain for Cameroon now. When I buy Okrika for back market for 100, all big Mami then instead of wear this thing, when I wear skirt. When I leave Sikam for Chantal Biya wear them. Don't start short store them for your own day. The next place will be in Bamenda. It's going to be you next. People keep saying, oh, Ambazonia is out of this. Ambazonia is out of... We don't have a country yet. We don't create laws yet. The only thing we'll get that in our hands that will create an upset of what we have handy. We don't have any of those things. I don't care what you say. We don't have things to control the economy yet. Right now, any rule where they make them, it affects we as much as it affects French people. When stories like this burst and I don't see us, and I see we be angry about, I'm like, so what are we fighting about? Because that should be one of our focus. One of our focus should actually be holding this government in, like in every facet, healthcare. Even the healthcare issue no concern an Amazonian as we speak. That same thing will happen for this girl where they be moved twins a Bele for Douala. It can likely happen to somebody in Bamenda. It can happen to somebody in Kumbo. It can happen to somebody in the south, somewhere in the southwest zone. It doesn't matter right now. Right now is holding authority responsible. No matter what. When you see a story running on Facebook, I beg you now make that story go viral. Every little story counts. It's not only about what happened in Kumba. It's not only about what happened in Bamenda and Kumbo that counts. What happens in Yaoundé counts as much to us as what happened in Bamenda. Because whatever happens in Yaoundé, when they close shops in Yaoundé, those shops, they affect your own grandma who sits somewhere in Manu without knowing. Those same shops, they affect your parents in Bakwere land that they had nothing to do. Because when they start shutting those shops, the same mad people on the other side are going to, those rules are going to gradually shift and go into those places. Sometimes I look at our French brother, even when one of the French bloggers was actually reporting on this story, when she made a video about it, I could see like people still insulting her. I was like, oh Jesus. People are lost. We've been so brainwashed, we'll not even know good from bad. We need a reawakening in Cameroon. We need for redefine which way actually we want our land to look like. We need for redefine all those boundaries. I want to move to the next thing on my talk list. This one are the most fun one. This one was just so fun. I couldn't go without talking about it. The rule they don't pass out, the new law they don't pass out. When they plan for pass out or don't pass out, they plan for pass out and the one day they don't pass out already. I hear they don't finally dismiss, say military court no go judge against civilians. Okay. The next court case is again now when. These people are so confused. Jesus. See, I'm Cameroon, bad talk with the people they on the ground. You guys don't even know how much milestone will now push them. We don't even know how much breakthrough they will now make our Cameroon. You guys have to be proud of you. If you're sitting in West Cameroon right now, Southern Cameroon, you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of actually changing a monarchy. Because Cameroon is a monarchy ruled by one person. Look at him running. And then the second rule they pass on this week now, the second ridiculous law be now, common law. They say common law now will be practiced at least 8 provinces. Say common law will be practiced at least 8 provinces for Cameroon. Common law, the same common law where they be asked them, where it take people, then people were killed. People have been raped. People have been jailed. For that particular, just mentioning they wanted the common law to be part of the system. People, then when I woke up today, the same people who asked for that, as dumb as these people are, you still have them locked up in jails. Then you come out and say, oh, the common law now. Tina, would they practice the common law? Who do you want to practice that law? The people who are asking for that change are actually in jail. Most of them are in exile. So this president, he's so dumb. That's exactly, I don't know where. Then the worst of this law, they are still come for the most. I bet when I sit back for the one. The next law where they change our Cameroon, now actually say they want to stop bleaching. They want to stop bleaching cream. No, I know, and please just listen to me. Don't react really fast. Listen to me on this point. They say they want to change laws. Say Minister of Health, they complain about the increase in ladies bleaching in Cameroon. So they want to change laws on bleaching. Okay, ma put on this way. We get problem though, Cameroon. Serious problem them. Where they pass bleaching cream for markets. We get problem the way people they are picking them be killed. We get problem the way picking them be raped. Picking they never go school for 1 year. Now which kind of parliament this will misplace priorities? I've never seen a group of people with misplaced priorities like Cameroonians. We get picking they never go school. Then when I talk about bleaching cream, okay, ma cite them so example, and I'll give them how they can actually make this if they be really serious about making this work. One, when I remember the days of Caribou, right? When I remember the way Caribou became in town, when women were actually like using Caribou a lot, and then they decided to ban Caribou, and Caribou became a contraband. It became a contraband. When I imagine how much smoke be there into Cameroon, how much the smoke up to today, Caribou, they still exists in Cameroon. Did Caribou ever go away? No. If this government being a serious government where they actually see a health problem connected to skin bleaching or skin or color changing, one, they go take upon themselves, they'll go into villages instead of trying to ban products that are associated to it and making it this thing, and making it a contraband. Where it will make more people, they'll find more crazy way than for smuggle in these products into Cameroon. If they are really serious about this, they will go ahead, they will create organizations that are going to educate women and girls on the effects of bleaching your body. They go produce things the way it will actually tell women and why the side effect of you changing the color of your body. But the one she don't go ban a product where the product will become, it will turn a contraband where people will start smuggling the product into the same country. Now it's kind of dumbness that I've never seen a group of old people, especially the older you get, no doubt when Donald Trump get dementia. I'm sorry if you're part of the parliament or you did this thing, I'm going to call them a dementia patient. If you're on call, somebody there in there, they are all dementia patients. Their brain shrinks as they grow older. A problem you need to find superficial this thing, solutions to problems. When there's a problem, you go to the root of that problem and actually work. If this group of people, they be actually being a people that are serious to fix this bleaching problem, they'll create committees. These committees will go out there to find out why girls even bleach. Get all these problems, look for lasting solutions to those problems instead of going out there to go and intimidate women, make women not feel because now invading a woman's privacy. That if you actually go out there and you change your rule, human privacy, because there are men who use those products too, is actually invading people's privacy. You have a right as a government to educate people on the side effect. I will give you an example for one of the things the way it go on, where it actually be connected to this thing. When I remember when marijuana was actually like, people who stay in America, you know, like the side consequences of you holding marijuana in America. Come to think of the black community in America that is almost extinguished because of that. Because people don't turn to smuggle. People don't do all things so for smuggle. The law never work for America. As soon as you ban something, people look for ways to actually make it work. When I look drug cartel, the way they work a dig hole underground for enter America every day. I see on scored and the other day, today for CNN way, it they say they want cross car into America under for that underground tunnel. The underground tunnel collapse, bury them under, all the people then die. There were scores, there were like 18 scores of people. It was so painful when I looked at those pictures. Because when you try to stop something, people just look for better ways to make it happen. People are going to do it in their backyards. You go cash person where one movie cream for a backyard. You go cash person where one go find cream for some pussy house. Educate people on the side effects of this. Government with misplaced priorities. I swear, when I talk about this, it's just funny. Now I know laugh now the law. I just laugh now how stupid. Where you go take time. Where country the bubble. There is a problem in Cameroon. People are complaining and you're spending precious dollars. Because every time they go shit over that damn crazy parliament, we pay for every minute. You go take are like we're on franc CFAs. Because all we contribute, even though at the America, you know how much I send home every day, and you know how much I'm being taxed to send money home. They are actually paying to that economy, and I have a right to talk about the economy. They go take my hard-earned CFA, take and go shit down for crazy parliament. She don't make rule about bleaching cream. What has that got to do with that child who hasn't been in school for 1 year? What has that got to do with somebody who has been sitting in jail for months for a crime they didn't commit? I swear to God, it's time for us to jack up on these people. Now, it don't reach time where we'll give a change tactics. Because it don't let the people they ignore we. Whatever what they do, it don't affect them. Now I move to this one again. Oh Jesus. I say the talk say poor Biya government that night. Say this guy's lemala. Say poor government that night. I did talk about the people that are Cameroon. The people who are in Cameroon right now. I don't want to. I asked Popo be there on a town today. Say go. Our honorable son of Manko on Yapi. Say son of Manko say me go back to palace, go find solution. So like it don't pass. It don't. This is actually so funny. Like you take your precious time, you actually get up from the Unity Palace. Instead of going out there to talk to the people, talk to those who actually raised the problem. You pick an individual in the neighborhood, go to that individual to lay a problem to that individual. Did it really have to take you sleepless night for you to travel that much to go lay a problem to one individual to change 8 million people? It means one person has to come out to change the mindset of 8 million people. I heard you got there at about midnight, and the conversation lasted for about 2 hours. And then he come out there around 3 a.m. in the morning. Then he come back. Fun of man can tell, he say, me go back, go release all my ronje, and he no get no hand. Say, it been a chief for the people of Mancon. Not, I swear, no, this is so funny. I can't even, those who say I should speak in English on this, I'm not speaking in English. I'm speaking in Pidgin because it's really funny. If I not talk of Pidgin, no actually come out the way. Tin and they want to talk of English here. I know it talks of one of English. This particular one na Pidgin, na Pidgin Jackery house type of talk this. Say a president of your nation who come out for midnight, reduce himself to Malam. I beg when I find cow and go Unity Palace, go Kidan Kasang Mr. Rea. Reduce yourself to Malam. Cover your head. Cover go up for Benda for 3 a.m. for morning time. Do I beg one man? Me change 8 million people their mind. I don't die. No, I'm sorry guys. When I read this story, this is exactly how I felt. I couldn't stop giggling. And I can't just stop. Then I say he called the man. Say he called Kadinatumbi, me Kadinatumbi ka Unity Palace, me and Kadinatumbi game meeting, Kadinatumbi yappy. Kadinatumbi deny say they go no place. I say the plan the next trip never go boya. Now I swear to God, I'm so sorry. Our president has gradually. I sure some people they be talking yesterday. They say the fast. I don't know whether they be talking the fast number 80. If he actually the fast, our president will finally become a Muslim, Nankasangman. Because you don't want to do the right thing. It's as simple as he doesn't want to do the right thing. Just giving the people what they ask for. It would take you to convert to a Muslim. It would take you to become a beggar on the street. to beg priests to come and see you. It would take you to actually plan an overnight trip. Plan an overnight trip to the southwest simply because you don't want to answer to the people. Oh, Jesus. I swear, I'm sorry I'm too excited today. I want to move to the next topic where we plan to talk about today. I want to talk about our neighbors in Nigeria. The story then just too sweet. Okay, so Nigerian president, for people that in Cameroon, now the same way be happen we now whether I relate to the story. So I don't say you relate to the story too. Okay, Nigerian president not lost now 50 days. You know, even is sick, they carry move our country, go to London. No man no play there now 50 days. Like 50 days Nigeria has been without the president. When I remember that we be there without president just a month ago, like for 3 months, 90 days we didn't have a president. Nigeria did gradually catch up with our own record. Nigeria was 50 days now. They never get president because their president don't wrong go this in Britain for go find better treatment. I get a question for all the African leaders and all. No, on the more serious note, I want to ask this. When you leave your own people, and you know somebody can be sick from the same illness you suffered from, you go to another person's country to benefit from good health care, to benefit from infrastructures that were set up by people like you. Them na people they get horn them for their head. You come out for your own country, go benefit from infrastructures that were set up by people like you. And the worst thing where it pain me past this story, now say Nigerian president pack a plane for this thing. He go pack a plane for Britain, the private jet way take and go. Every day they say Nigeria incur thousands of this thing, millions of naira for keep that plane packed where it is. That is the same exact problem Cameroon went through. Each time we'll get that poor Biya Fondo dog owner, he leaves that Unity Palace. He take that plane Komogo. I want you guys to relate to people's story actually. He take that plane Komogo, go pack up for any plane. Anytime we pack that plane out of Cameroon, you know how much we pay. Why are African leaders so bad? Why African leaders they wicked to their bones? You never ever hear say not only the north, not only the center part of Africa though. It's like Nigeria, Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Togo, all those countries in the middle, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea. Because moving south, I go name one president here and know say all man for the live stream go get like the eyes will pop, but I'll give you a reason. Mugabe has never loved his country. Never. The partner 93 years today. That partner don't ever leave the country, go another country for go seek health care. He stays in his country when he's sick. He stays right there in Zimbabwe when he's sick. He has never left Zimbabwe to go seek for better treatment. And he's being counted the worst president by France, Britain, America. He's being counted among the worst presidents. Like, if you ask an American who is the worst president in Africa, the first person is going to be Mugabe. Mugabe is the worst person who has ever lived in the history of Africa. That is it. We go down little south. We go to South Africa. Mandela died in his country. Mandela never left for treatment in another country. Mandela stayed in his country. He took his treatment in his country and he died in his country. Let's come back up north. We'll come back up north. No, I decide the president. We'll come back. Togolese president. If you go Togo, you read about Togo, you check whether you did this thing. You check whether you did where did they say they begin to make Central African, all that Center Africa, I know you're talking about Central Africa, the center part of Africa, like that crossroad, going from east to west of that particular middle section of Africa. They will make a third world nation. If they not deserve a third world nation name. They gonna be like the Sikh nation. Because those people, they are not human. The presidents who rule around that middle part, Cote d'Ivoire, come to name them. Togo, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, Chad, Sudan, all those middle areas, Mali, going a little bit north, Mali, Senegal, all those areas. I don't know what is wrong. Why can Central Africa not be like North Africa maybe, or South Africa? What possesses the middle part of Africa? And why is there not a sweeping revolution taking place across that center part of Africa? Because that center part of Africa is actually where our whole African continent has been viewed as crazy. People always talk about, oh, Uganda people, they went through the massacre and millions of people were killed. Yeah, those were people who stood up and said, you know what? Than for us to be morons like Middle Africa, than for us to be morons like Cameroon, than for us to be morons like those in Togo, than for us to be morons like Nigerians are right now. Not standing up, not questioning, not going to all the hospitals in this thing. The last time we Paul Biya be there, Germany, we storm hospital Germany, Paul Biya come out run. Those are the type of actions Africans need to start taking. If our leaders go out of the country more than some time, we have to be able to question and storm them. Paul Biya don't go Cameroon, I don't go hang from Vomika. You know, I even come out, I don't even know the reason. Or now wait you. He has been there for too long when they suit me anymore. As well as me come out so that we'll do something. And the worst thing I say, we say all these countries along that line are French countries. They are not all French countries. They are not. There are English countries in between, but the middle part of Africa is brainwashed. There's something wrong with the middle part of Africa. A president of a nation goes out of the country for treatment. Then the worst part, the sweetest part of this story now say, okay, he sent back at the Salah message home. He sent him for Hausa language on a Hausa president. No. When you talk about a problem, at least look your neighbor in your house, because your neighbor might just get more problems than you do. He sent Muslim them for Nigeria. He record the message for send out them for this thing for Hausa language. So he excluded like every other part where they didn't hear Hausa. Like if you're a regular person who decided to become a Muslim in Nigeria, the president sent a message and that message didn't include you. See, if you don't tire, if this president don't tire, now leave we know. Just go away. If you're old enough, if your body can't function, let it go. Be a Mandela of our time. When Mandela felt he couldn't do it anymore, he transited. He gave power to somebody who had the strength to stand. He gave the stamina. Why were own African leaders in this so? I want us to be able. I know I don't joke the whole day, but it all comes down to a place where we need to start question ourselves if this is exactly the continent we want to live in. Then this continent, we look at each other, we stand up for each other. We actually stand up for each other. Because it don't make no sense. Nigeria will be looked up to. We're looking up to Nigeria once in a while. Nigeria has become the laughter of Africa. Nigeria has gradually become the laughter of Africa. And we are here, Ambazonians, we are looking up to Nigeria to actually take us out of this mess. Then you chasing Nigeria a problem, never a problem. Nigerians' problem is as much as our problem because they go through the same menace like you and I we go through. So I swear to God, I feel so disgusted today, even though I've been laughing, but the laughter didn't come from a place where it's actually fun. It came from more of a sorrowful place in my heart. It kind of from a pity, not the pity of a continent being erased by a few people. Not pity of a continent with few people taking advantage, like making use of the system and minimizing a whole bunch of people. My heart just bleeds when I think of, I always think of how these people wake up every day, knowing I went to bed without being good. I went to bed without doing one great thing for this person, for this kid who was malnourished, for this mother who went to the clinic and couldn't give birth safely because they didn't have all they never get amenities in there where if you make this woman give a safe birth come out. I think of all those patients in Cameroon where they don't get. I'll talk about dialysis. One of our sisters who is doing dialysis, the machines, the sister Rose, the machines in General Hospital in Yaoundé will be actually used for dialysis. They all break down. It means that every patient will be there for that particular unit. Even the one in Obamenda they broke down some months back. It means that every patient will be there Obamenda they begin to transport that patient overnight for Bafoussam or Yaoundé or the other places and for actually take that medical care. The same thing not happen for Yaoundé. Why it gave for the constantly happen for we? We will be rich. We are rich. We'll be so rich. We are so in down where we not get to go through all that. Why this bad thing then keep happening to us? If you Shido Cameroon, you go hospital, you don't even feel catered for. There's one doctor to 5,000 patients in Cameroon because the doctors in Cameroon can't even do their job in Cameroon. They are not paid in their own country. As soon as they are done with school, they run to America, they run to other countries where their certificates are not even measured up to the standards of that nation. There are doctors from Cameroon who come to America every day and they're unable to practice because the standards of education back home they can't be measured with those in America. They come in and they end up CNAs and all the like. It means that even for Cameroon, what doctors they get and like training, they are not even adequate to take care of you, to take care of your dying mom and your dying daddy. When I go to Cameroon, I'm scared of receiving even a simple injection in Cameroon. Why? Where did we go wrong? How did the nation become so wicked? How did a few bunch of people become, they actually grow these nerves for being wicked for millions of people, and we sit around and watch them. We sit around and there are people who still ask us why we question the status quo. There are people who sit out there and they are still trying to defend these crazy ass people. There are people out there who sit and they still give reasons why we shouldn't question. We shouldn't ask why the system is not working. Why did America work? Why did Europe, why did South Africa work? How did they do it that the rest of Africa can't do the same thing? Those people, South Africa stood up for years. For years. We know about 27 years because of the 27 years when Mandela was in prison. But for years, South Africans stood up. Before the 27 years, you think South Africans were not revolting? They were revolting. And we've been in this for 7 months and you're complaining? We've been in this for 7 months and you're complaining. It's going to take 34 years. If it takes 34 years, it is worth the passion. If it takes 50 years, it is worth every passion. If it takes 100 years for us to pass down a system that works to a generation to come, it's worth it. If it takes your life, it's worth it. If it takes you not having 3 square meals a day, it's worth it. Come to think of it, it's not just about you. I keep telling people, think about the people who are going to come after you. If we let this system be, this system is what we are going to transfer down to us. We are gradually building a monarchy. We are gradually building a British system where there is a tight group of people who actually control wealth and everything. We are building a monarchy. And if we don't stand up to break it right now, we are going to be stuck in this. I can just imagine how, I want you to picture our kids in the nearest future with this type of system, how it will look like for them. There are thousands of messages I get every day. Mami Gera, I want to travel out of Cameroon. Mami Gera, I want to travel out of Cameroon. The country don't strong. Mami Gera, I'm a nurse. I can't even make enough here. I have to get out of Cameroon. Mami Gera, how can I get into a school in this area? Mami, why will a country be a country where we keep running away from? Why our continent will be a place where we don't turn a smelly dumpster where we never stand our own dumpster we have to run away from? May I tell you this? Some of us were cowards. I want to give courage to those who are home right now. Some of us were cowards who ran away from the system. But some of you said you were going to stay in there and make it work. And you've been doing it. I'm talking to those in the government. It might take you to deny to take one bribe. You think that makes a lot of difference. It takes you to say, no, I'm not going to take this bribe today. That has changed. It don't change one person because there's somebody there who knows now if they go to bribe somebody, there's somebody who's going to refuse that bribe. It would take you to do that to make that difference. You, that woman, where the market where talks, I know, say, my chop me go Gabon. For go feed people to Gabon way, I don't know them. I want feed people to my community. Even now, when I fight the inside market, we want to deny for export what chop so that we will be able to feed our own people. It will make a difference. People always think it's going to take a whole town. Like I get this most of the time. Mami Gera, some people then do it they against the revolution. Not all. They no one hear anything. Oh, so you wanted everybody to hear everything about it? Sorry. Activism is inborn. Activism, nothing where you see something wrong, is that rage that come off you. You decide you say for stand up. Activism, them na community service. It has never been a community service. There are a group of guys who just sued Shell. 9 of them. They've been active, 9 of them. It happened in Mali. I read the story online today. They had been revolting against this Shell company for years, almost 18 years. Then they finally had an opportunity, 9 of them, to take Shell to court, and they won that case. 9 people, which means it doesn't take a community activism, not community activity. Ma repeat this one. Activism not be community activity. Where you go who got there all man for community say me come out can clean quarter. If you know clean quarter, you can move it, take a pot, go sell them. Activism is not about that. It's about you believing in what you're standing for and you make sure you stand for it, no matter what. That is exactly why we have the quarrels online. People actually believe in what they stand for, but you don't believe enough in what you're standing for. That's why you spend all your time going after somebody who believes in what they're standing for. That's activism right there. You believe this is not right and I'm going to make it right. And you stand for it and you're steadfast in it, no matter if even a you one gave a commode, go stand for middle road strike. If been a you one, you take that bullet. Mandela, when he went to jail, he didn't take the whole South Africa with him. But Bala Fontem, you and I, we are not in jail with him. He knew he was going to be arrested. But he knew his activism had to get to a place where he had to be arrested to actually make a point. Till you get to that place to understand our stories are different. Reasons are different. The reason why you do what you're doing and why I do what I'm doing, they are different. Then you get to know why people ask different things in this particular struggle. There are people who were just satisfied when they said the common law was going to be introduced, and they are like, oh, I'm going back to the court. Yeah, because that is where that person was affected. There are people whose problems are bigger, like my problem. I feel Africa can work better. I feel the whole continent can be better. And I'm sitting there, I'm questioning every sector. I'm not questioning a particular part of Africa because I know we are capable of having the best of it. There are people who think we can only get so far, and they are fighting for that so far with all their strength. And there is you who think they are so far is not good enough. That is still activism though. Because they are pro and there are people who are pro and against everything. That's still activism. Whatever you're doing, even you sit there and you're going after somebody, that's still activism. But the thing is, you have to be able to choose your enemy. If you choose your enemy, say your enemy now go after every individual on Facebook. That's activism for you. That's activism for you. Activism is an inborn thing. You see a problem and you want that problem taken care of. Guys, I don't know. I know like I've gotten to a place where I'm a little bit emotional today. I wanted to get you to a place where you start thinking of the importance of why you have to be part of your community. Thinking of the things you could sacrifice to make not only you better, but generations to come better. Being a person, when this is over, you will sit and have a story to tell about it. I have a lady who made a video online once, and she was talking about how in the 90s, how she was being pursued and all the things that happened. Yeah, she had a story because she participated in. If you sit out there and you don't see it as a reason, there are people out here who will be telling these stories tomorrow. Please make your own story. And when you're making a story, think about how that story is not only going to affect you, it's going to affect our continent in general. I'm saying this, I know today I generalized my message and I made it more of a continent message. I had a reason for that. Because there's this evolution sweeping across Africa right now. There's this reawakening where you sweep across Africa. And Africa, we need each other. Cameroon needs Nigeria. Nigeria needs Ghana. Senegal needs Cameroon. Cote d'Ivoire, that's why you see people in Cote d'Ivoire. They're actually feeling our pain. People in Cote d'Ivoire, every day I see them make videos about what is going on in Cameroon. There are people in Nigeria who make videos about what is going on in Cameroon. Yeah, we have to be able, for us to win this group of bandits who have taken over our continent, we need to look for a way to work together. This activism, like, we need this revolution has to sweep right across, especially mid-Africa. It has to sweep right across it. So whatever you're doing, ma talk to people they home. Whatever you're doing, know you're partaking in history. You're changing the course of history. You sacrifice your happiness. You sacrifice your well-being to be part of history, to be the change in this generation and generations to come. You might think you might not be mentioned in history books like the person who did that, but your generation is going to be mentioned in those history books. You were the people. Meta people are going to be mentioned. Bafoot people are going to be mentioned on the sweeping ghost town. How they sacrifice a whole year for their kids not to go to school. GPHS Bamenda kids are going to be mentioned. You're going to be part of this history no matter what you think. History is being made. Kumbu people are going to be taught about all the days they stood up against this crazy colonial government who kept coming in for big people then for arrest people and go lock them for no reason. You're going to be part of this history one way or the other. Diaspora is going to be part of this history. How diaspora took the internet by surprise and they brought a colonial power to an end. They brought a monarchy to an end. Whatever we are doing in Nigeria, the Biafrans has picked up exactly what we are doing and they are doing the exact thing. Biafrans have taken on social media and they are utilizing social media than we are. We actually started history. Those in the diaspora, we started history. We taught people how revolutions could be fought from all over the world, from different fairs, by different people who I've never met. I speak to hundreds of people every day I've never met, I've never spoken to. But we are on the same cause. We are fighting for the same cause. Because of what? We discovered a new tool that could be used to actually change the course of a nation, of a monarchy. Because again, a monarchy or Cameroon, no matter what you think. Okay, guys, I think I've been on this live stream for long enough, and 1 hour 11 minutes. I wanted to be on it for 1 hour. I think I've given you enough to go with for the whole week. Think about this. Think about this. Not just about you. It's about the nation. It's not just about you. It's about generations after you. And your activism should be inborn. You shouldn't be a follower. Try not to be a follower in this cause. Try to know why and what you're doing for. If I sit here every day, you come to watch me, you're coming to get encouragement to do what you've chosen to do, what you've chosen to make right. Not to come in here, let me tell you what you are supposed to do. So people back home, think of things you can do to change the system. When I sit up here, I want to encourage you to keep doing those things you've been doing already, because you've been doing something right. And please don't castigate yourself. Don't feel you're not doing enough. Don't feel we are not doing enough. We've actually come a milestone. If you remember when we started this and where we are today, Sote Popo become Kasang. For go find out how to treat your case. If you had to take Popo if you had to push Popo to a place where he can become a Kasang man, just to know you, then imagine the strength you have internally. Use that strength, and we have to use that strength right. The timing is right. The people who are doing this, they are right. History is on our side. Everything is on our side right now. So our results will depend on what we actually choose. Like what we get out of this will depend on how far we choose to push this. And if you're not ready for broke your leg, if you're not ready for go without 3 square meals a day, if you're not ready for go without school, if you're not ready for go without healthcare, if you're not ready for go without something the way they've done the work right, then you're not actually doing activity. People lost their jobs when they're actually into this. People actually lose everything. For you to gain, you have to lose. When businesses start, those businesses, they don't just pile. They have to go through these rough times. We are going through the rough times. We are going through the failures of our business. We are going through those uncertain times in our business. It's going to catch up, and don't let it catch up when you are not part of history, or don't let it catch up when we all have when we've gotten tired and wearied and given up. When we are close to where it's going to catch up. Then when we get tired and we give up, just verge to that time we have to reap benefits. Then we don't just waste our time. All we've done is waste our time. Think about that. I'm talking to the people home right now, because I know you guys are the people actually feeling the pinch. And those in the diaspora, please support those home. Support them. Even now, one bag salt, one bag gari, or whatever you can get, support them. Once in a while, buy that bag rice, support them. Those people are going through hell. I talk to tons of them every day, and they are holding on. Despite the hurt they are going through, they are holding on. They are like, this is one time we have this, we have to stay on and finish this. They are not giving up. They are not complaining about giving up. We in the diaspora, we complain about giving up more than those home. There are teachers who haven't gone to work. There are two main sectors that are affected in the economy right now. And they are teachers and lawyers. These people have been out of work for how many months? But they are staying steadfast. Most of them, they become farmers. I remember I called Cameroon, they told no space, no day for Northwest now, so people never work farm day. Say the year now the highest year where they see people work farm. Yeah, because those people, they decided to subsidize that part of their income. They decide to do something with that part of it. So diaspora, if you hear everybody when they call home, they complain only about diaspora. It's time for us to put up our boots. Like, if you want to do your own revolution, if you see, man, talk with people home, if you see diaspora on Facebook where it do crazy revolution, leave it. Follow people there, they do the revolution your way. Because again, as I talk, revolution, when you think of something where you work, now you choose whether you want to go out there, go fight. Maybe community activity again. It's no community activity, it's an individual choice. Where you see something wrong and you decide to stand up to. It's not a community service. So if you're waiting, if you're never in Cameroon, now one way the go take a taxi every day, go drive, you just say you go take your own taxi. You go take your own taxi, go drive because you're never the take taxi, go drive. No, you're never no get the same, you know, get the same feeling about the country like you do. You know, get the same love for generations to come like you do. So it will take you, even only when a 5 or a park on a taxi. People are only thinking about, oh, schools are resuming, this is happening. It's not going to be every student who is going to sit back and sacrifice for this. But you're going to be that hero of a student who actually sits back and be like, oh, I'm going to actually give up this to make it better for the people to come. Like the people in the 90s, they gave up their GCE to make it better for us. Like the people in the 90s who were locked up in jail. Some had grenades chopped up their hands for you and I to have a better system. Like the people who were killed in the 90s. Like my uncle who wasn't sleeping in the house because he was scared he was going to, during the ghost time, he was scared he was going to be picked up and locked up. They actually made those sacrifices for you and I. Now it is our own turn to make those sacrifices, return to another generation. Because whatever they worked for was gradually being erased by you and I with greed. We gradually erased our greed, gradually erased it because we started falling for bribes. Now we go to pay bribe them again. Now we gradually spoil the system. We have the responsibility to fix the system. So I don't talk again. If you've been the only person where you will deny for pay bribe for Cameroon this year, you are making a difference. You've been the only person where you deny for say Chop International, you are making a difference. No wait for any community activity where you'll be an active. If you check say you want to come out tomorrow, go strike with your placard for front your company because your company may treat you right. You better go. Because if the wait not say me all man for that company come out with you. No man no come out with you. Because your problem maybe all my problem. And the way situation occur for you, not the same way they occur for the next person. That's why we needed a lot of enlightenment. We needed a lot of information. We needed to come out to tell people about the importance of why we have to do this. For some people to be, some people then they give a way they learn. We learn as we go along. No man no come for the ground where you know all. There are people who actually, the history of Cameroon, most of us we learned about what we were actually reduced to online. Guys, it takes you and you only to make a difference. And it takes you to actually build the people around you to make a difference with you. So think of the ways you can actually make a difference in your community. In that business where you want to grow within the community, to help the community out at this stress, this financial stress period within Cameroon, go ahead and raise that business. It's going to help out one way or the other. But know whatever happens, you've been the only person if you create that. We've been a mini gods on earth. You can create anything. We can create our tomorrow. And creating our tomorrow starts now. Whatever we do now actually determines what happens tomorrow. If we stop doing this today, tomorrow you know exactly what is going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the same pit of hell we've been in 100 years. I want you to picture yourself back before this week. How Cameroon was, if you want to really go back to those days when you had to bribe for everything. When you were good, you were not good enough for any position. Up to now, you're still not good enough. You need to keep pushing till you get to where you get what you want. All right, guys, I'm off here. I know I said I was going to be off and I kept preaching. Do my mob is shut off. And please, as you go this week, be nice. Do something good for somebody. Remember, the revolution continues. It's a whole evolution of the mind, and as our mind evolves, you think of other things. Think of what is going to make a difference tomorrow, not only for you but for generations to come. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in for 1 hour, about 1 hour 30 minutes. I'll see you guys another time, and as for now, you stay blessed and keep the fight. The struggle continues. Thank you.